We are Anchor. Stay tuned for updated real news.
Hello, the Anchor Daily News viewers. We continue to bring you the most critical developments in the Russia-Ukraine war. The course of the war is becoming more complicated with each passing day. Recent events have once again demonstrated how vulnerable Russia's supply lines are. Recent attacks in the Kursk region show that even at this stage of the war, Russia's logistical capabilities are under serious threat. The Ukrainian army has been targeting this strategic weakness with operations in recent weeks. The bridge attacks around Kursk have begun to deeply undermine Russia's ability to sustain the war. These attacks, especially those using drones, are increasing the threat to Russian supply lines. Finally, with the destruction of another Russian supply bridge, an important turning point has been reached in the logistical dimensions of the war. How will these developments affect the overall course of the war? To what extent are these attacks on Russia's supply lines weakening Moscow's military power? Today, as we seek answers to these questions, we will examine in detail the strategic moves of the Ukrainian army and how Russia is developing a defense against these attacks. Let's take a look at how these important developments will affect the course of the war. Before moving on to our report, here's a small reminder. As the Anchor Daily News team, we strive to bring you the latest developments in the Russia-Ukraine war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. We also read all the comments you leave on our videos, so please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments section. Tell us in the comments what content you'd like to see on the Anchor Daily News channel. And now let us begin if you're ready. Anchor Daily News reports. The Ukrainian army's Kursk operation has turned into a nightmare for Russia. It not only shook Russia's military response in the region, but also marked a major blow to Moscow's war strategy. In order to gain the upper hand in the fighting in the Kursk region, Russia deployed a large number of troops to the region. However, these efforts proved insufficient in the face of Ukraine's effective tactics and did not yield the results Moscow expected. The Kursk operation upset Russia's military plans in the region and severely weakened the army's operational capabilities. During the operation in Kursk, the Ukrainian army especially targeted Russia's supply lines. This strategic move severely limited the Russian army's mobility on the battlefield. Attacks on supply lines prevented Russian troops from advancing on the front lines and disrupted logistical support. All Russian interventions to protect these lines were insufficient in the face of Ukraine's tactical superiority. The fighting in the region has exposed the fragility of...
Meet Amish Shah. He's very liberal. He backs a socialist takeover of Medicare that could reduce services and boost wait times. That's malpractice, Doc. Liberal Amish Shah, the wrong prescription for Congress.
Nothing's more important than our kids. And we want our schools to be the best for them.
Of Moscow's logistical capabilities and called into question the effectiveness of the Russian army on the ground. A recent attack in Kursk proved once again the intensity of Ukraine's activities in this region. A Ukrainian FPV unmanned aerial vehicle successfully attacked a Russian military vehicle stationed on a bridge in this strategic region. This attack was not only a new development that threatens the Russian military presence in the region, but also demonstrated how effectively the Ukrainian military uses unmanned aerial vehicles. FPV unmanned aerial vehicles have become one of the most important elements that changed the course of the war for the Ukrainian army. Despite their low cost, they offer high precision and effectiveness, weakening Russian troops both psychologically and strategically. The recent attack in the Kursk region is one of the most concrete examples of this. No matter how many troops Russia deploys to the region, it remains vulnerable to Ukraine's successes through such tactical attacks. Russia's failure in Kursk points to the need for a major overhaul of Moscow's military strategy. Ukraine's effective offensives weaken both the morale and operational capacity of the Russian army. Moreover, this situation offers important clues that Russia may face even greater challenges in the later stages of the war. The Ukrainian army's operations against the supply lines in Kursk are making it increasingly difficult for Russia to hold on to this region. The disruption of logistical support limits the mobility of Russian troops on the battlefield and makes them vulnerable. This situation in Kursk is seen as an indication that Ukraine may increase its strategic advantages later in the war. How Russia will develop a strategy to counter these threats remains a matter of curiosity. Ukrainian Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrsky recently shared important information about the situation in the Kursk region. Syrsky's statements revealed how important a position Ukraine has gained on this critical front of the war. Syrsky stated that the Ukrainian army already controls an area of 1,294 square kilometers in the Kursk region. This shows that Ukraine has further consolidated its strategic dominance in the region and has gained a significant advantage over Russia. Syrsky also emphasized that 30,000 Russian troops are deployed in this region. Such a large military presence reveals the intensity of Russia's efforts to hold on to the region. However, Ukraine's control of this vast area shows that it has the potential to neutralize Russia's military power. Syrsky's statements made it clear how successful Ukraine's strategic plans have been and that Russia's presence in Kursk may become increasingly difficult. The developments provide important clues about the future course of the war. Ukrainian control of the Kursk region suggests that Russia may face even greater challenges later in the war. Syrsky's statements reaffirm Ukraine's determination and success against Russia on this front. There are reports that the Ukrainian army is preparing to take another important step in its war strategy. According to these reports, the Ukrainian army is preparing to form new brigades to be deployed on other fronts. It's claimed that the number of these brigades, which will be composed especially of expatriate Ukrainians, will reach 15. What's even more remarkable is the claim that these new brigades will receive training in NATO countries. The military training provided by NATO could give the Ukrainian army an important competence and make these new units more effective on the front line. These developments show Ukraine's determination to seize the initiative in the war and take a stronger stance on different fronts. Ukraine's move continues to arouse curiosity about how it will change the course of the war. Russia is already in a very difficult situation. This situation in Kursk is particularly frustrating for Russia. Therefore, the successes in other parts of the front line don't give Russia any relief. Continuation of the Kursk operation in the coming days will cause even bigger problems for Russia. Of course, another point that shouldn't be overlooked is the loss of morale of Russian troops due to the situation in Kursk. This is likely to have a very negative impact on the Russian troops on the front line. What do you think? Do you think the Ukrainian army's targeting of Russian supply lines has any significance for the future of the war? How do you assess the position of Ukrainian unmanned aerial vehicles here? What role do you think the 15